Hey guys, Wayback Rewind here. Sony's VX1000 was one of the first DV camcorders available, but it cost $3,000. JVC's GR-DV1 is more accurately remembered as the first consumer-level DV camcorder available to the public. We're going to see if we can find a working one here. Coming up next, here on Wayback Rewind. Bigger than I expected. It's actually quite a bit bigger than I expected. Two of these 18650 type cells. I don't have a charger for them anyway. Here's the ubiquitous tape stuck inside. Figure out some way to power this thing up. In 1996, JVC introduced the GR-DV1. This was the first DV camcorder available to consumers. Some people say it was the first ever, but either way, it was the world's smallest camcorder when it was introduced. I actually have two of them here. Both of them work perfectly. This one's a little rough around the edges. It's missing one of the knobs, but it actually works perfectly. And so in 1996, JVC brought this to the public using the new mini DV format. Now, the mini DV tape was custom designed to be a portable format, so it wasn't a compromise like compact VHS, so it was much smaller, and the cameras themselves could be much smaller. This camera has kind of a unique loading mechanism because the tape only goes in that far, and it actually closes up inside the machine before it retracts and loads, like that. But the DV-M1 had a screen that came after this, but the DV1 did not have a screen. When I first bought this, I thought it was going to be the same size as my GR-DV M5, which is here. As you can see, the DV M5 is a little bit smaller, especially since there's no monitor. There's no reason for it to be as thick as it is, except that it's just the first of its kind. So the only way to see the menus was looking through the viewfinder. It was a color viewfinder, but it's very low resolution and it's hard to see, and I can't really demonstrate that to you. So I'll use this monitor, but to do that, I'll have to put in the dock. So once I plug the dock in, before I do that, I want to show you these batteries. I have 5 of these batteries and none of them work. It has a single, what appears to be an 18650 lithium cell in here, which was still kind of a new thing in 1996. Number one, I was able to get it to work for about 30 seconds, but the way it goes in here, I was able to get this one to come on and for like maybe a few seconds. but the battery, you can see it's draining very quickly. These batteries are very hard to find. I don't know if they can be purchased new anymore. A handful of places online claim to sell them, but I don't know that they actually have them in stock, or if you do get one, it'll probably be a new old stock that won't work. But either way, using this on batteries is probably going to be a no-win scenario. So let me show you the dock. Once you put this in the dock, a couple of fingers grab onto it. Now it's locked into the dock. It won't come out. This dock has a fan in it, which is rather loud. So you're going to hear that fan sound through the rest of the video, as long as the dock is on. But you have a set of transport controls here, which is very nice. But the camera itself has transport controls under this hidden door. I can show it to you better here. This opens up this way. Battery compartment. A lot of things that open up on here. This is like the Inspector Gadget of camcorders, if you're old enough to remember what Inspector Gadget is. But you don't have to deal with the ones under this door, so you can just press play. Showing July 5th, 1997. It always amazes me. You buy these cameras, and they almost always come with a tape in them, and they almost always have people's precious memories in there. People buy these cameras to save their precious memories, and then somehow their precious memories end up on eBay. You can see that this machine does work perfectly fine. It plays, it rewinds, it fast forwards. The only thing that prevents me from shooting with this camera out in the field is the lack of a suitable battery, and I'm going to need to rig up something if I ever want to take it out. But I do have tapes to play in here that show that it plays perfectly fine. Sound works well. It's stereo sound, unlike compact VHS, which I don't believe ever produced a stereo version. So for the first time in 1996, consumers had access to a digital tape recording system. Now, the one thing conspicuously absent from the camera or the dock is a digital output. I don't know if it was threats of lawsuits or for whatever reason they chose not to put a digital output on here. There's no FireWire connection, there's no USB, there's nothing. So the only way to get videos out of here is through the analog ports on the back of the dock or the analog cable plugged into the front of the machine, and you have to do an analog to digital conversion, which is annoying, and you're going to lose quality unnecessarily. But you can take this tape out of here, obviously. You can put the tape into another DV player that has a digital output and convert it that way. But back in 1996, there was no choice. You did not have a way to get the digital video off of the tape.
We're now on the grounds of Kolomenskaya. It used to be an old summer place for the nobility in Moscow, and now it's a sort of a park and village. There's one of the churches, big stockade here, and the gateway. Gateway going all the way around, and we're entering some section of the park has been set aside for old wooden buildings, and it looks like we have some folks in period costume here too. Tell us about what's going on. Really lovely gardens and park. Evidently doing a lot of work resetting things up. This is the overlook from the park and the Moscow River. There's a Moscow. A tour boat goes up and down the river. We took a trip on it last year. Very nice. People do swim here, but it's definitely at your own risk. The rest of the city in the background there. And that's Dima screaming. Folks down here having a picnic, sitting and talking. It's really, really lovely.